to the Dream 100 Show, the epicenter of influence, collaboration, and exponential growth. You're about to discover the power of relationships. Dream 100 relationships. And you're one relationship away from a totally different business and life. This is your host, Michael Tasner.
Hey there, and welcome to this week's episode of the Dream 100 Show. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit different where I'm going to rapid fire a variety of different types of businesses, niches, however you like to say it. And I'm just going to do it all ad lib, but allow you to start to think and expand your mind of what could be possible. A lot of people are writing saying, Michael, I'm getting stuck on the who of that Dream 100 audience. And again, there's the three distinct audiences. There's press, your Dream 100 clients, customers, patients, whatever word you use in your business. And then that third audience are those Dream 100 referral partners, affiliates, joint ventures, lots of different ways you can classify them. So for me, just because I've been doing it so long, I can very quickly start to think about who could be potential opportunities for you. But I understand that when I think you're kind of getting in the weeds and when you're in there all day, every day, sometimes there's a lot of phrases, but like it's sometimes tough to see the flowers through the weeds, I think is one of the phrases. And when you're not in a particular niche all day, every day, what might seem obvious to me might not be obvious for someone else. So I'm going to rapid fire. I've got a list over here and I'm just going to kind of grab some of these and just talk through them. Now, this is making the assumption that you've done all the pre-work. So you've analyzed your audience. You've really looked into your business so that you understand your best customers, your worst customers. You are clear on where you want your business to go. If you don't have all that pre-work done, you can't start working on building out your Dream 100 audience. You also need to make sure that you have all of the other pre-work done, and that is going through and revising your social media, your business social media, so you're ready for these relationships. So let's assume that you have that particular stuff tie up in a bow, lock and loaded, ready to go. So audience number one would be hairdressers, hair salons, hairdressers, stylists. So let's laser in on the Dream 100 clients. Let's not look at referral partners for this one. Let's do clients. So as I'm digging into the business, you're going to say, well, the average customer is spending, let's say you're a woman's hair salon. And I don't know what the average cost is to get your hair done. I know there's obviously lots of different, there's coloring and styling and perms and lots of different things. But let's say the average is $100 and the average customer comes in once a month, so $1,200 a year. When I'm looking at my data, I'm going to want to see, are there some big outliers to that? So yes, I can go and get more $100 a month customers. But if I'm really aiming to laser in on the best customers, are those the customers that every other month they're getting their hair dyed and that's $300? Are they brides that come in with an entire bridal party and it's all the updos and the hairstyles because that it's not $100, that could be 5 bridesmaids and a bride, for example, and maybe that's a $2,000 or $3,000 afternoon or morning or whatnot. So when I start to laser in on that, I'm going to start to see some trends. So if they're brides, then I'm going to want to put that strategy of how can I start to get in front of more brides? And I'm going to update my paid traffic strategy in Google and Facebook. And maybe the ads say calling all brides and bridesmaids, for example, so that I can start to attract those Dream 100 relationships. So my marketing at my salon starts to pivot a bit. And it's not that you don't want to take on the everyday female that is still kind of a bread and butter customer, but we want to start to call out brides and really focusing there. The color avenue, I think, could also be another one. So how do you make sure if those people are spending on average $3,000 a year, for example, or $2,000 or $3,000, whatever that number is, if you had 100 people or 200 or 300 of those, that math really starts to add up very, very nicely for you to where you're now bringing in those Dream 100 relationships. So rather than $100, now that lifetime value really starts to grow. Maybe maybe every month it's more. But with hair salons, in particular for females, I think that really lasering in on brides is a great market to go after. Now, if you were focusing on men, I mean, the average haircut might only be $50, and maybe the average lifetime value or yearly value rather, you come in once a month and it's whatever, give or take $600 a year. Okay, great. Well, are there some outliers? Are there people that they come in every week because they want a specific style and they want their hair absolutely perfect? Are you a mobile barber, for example? And those aren't $50 cuts, those are $500. Now, granted, it takes longer. You're traveling to and from your salon or your barbershop, but are they those customers? There's a local barbershop, Barber Chiefs, that I have been to and my sons go to, and I know they're extremely busy. They started off with the two cousins as owners, and now I think they have, 3, 4, 5 other barbers that are in their location and working out of there. But I know, and this is all public, so I'm not sharing private information, they cut the hair of Josh Allen and a lot of the other Buffalo Bills football players. So if I owned that barbershop and I was lasering in on my Dream 100 relationships, I would want to be looking at professional athletes or D1 college people that are in the public eye. They want to look really sharp, and you can charge a premium. So how do you then start to pivot your marketing around that? Next audience, let me glance at this list and pick one of these. Restaurants. To me, arguably one of the toughest industries, the highest failure rate, I believe, of any industry. It's probably one of the only industries that I personally would most likely never get into. Just really, really tough to make money in that industry. Now, with that said, if I were going after Dream 100 relationships, building out that list, I would definitely focus this one on joint ventures, referral partners. Now, who would be some Dream 100 relationships? So if you offer catering, that money is going to be exponentially higher. If you have a venue where you can take on weddings, the top of my Dream 100 list is going to be all of the wedding planners in the area, all the churches that are hosting a lot of weddings, all of the places that are limo companies and limo services. So if I look at, hey, we want to attract a lot more weddings, a wedding is worth $30,000 or $50,000, and we can get that revenue. We can do it at an off time or in a different room and still have our dinner service. As an example, that is who I'm focusing on for those Dream 100, going after all the people that are in the wedding space that own those companies, wedding photographers, wedding videographers. If you now start to build all those relationships up, you interview them on your local show, your local podcast, and now they know, like, and trust you. They're going to, hey, did you thought of having your wedding here, or have you thought about having it catered from here? If you can do outbound catering, you might look at different wedding halls and like the fire halls in different places that rent spaces and figuring out who those people are and building that relationship where they're going to say, well, you can cater food from anywhere, but here are the 3 places we recommend. And now your name is one of those 3. That is how you rapidly expand and go after those particular referral partners in that niche. Next one I've got is martial arts studios. So a business that is serving kids and a business that you would be marketing to parents. I would want to look at all of the childcare centers that are in the area. I'd want to look at all the dance studios, gymnastic studios, trampoline parks, pediatric dentistry. I'd want to look at if there are any other like centers that don't necessarily compete with me that are complementary. So maybe you do this type of martial arts, they do another one, and there could be some ways to refer business there. But there are lots of local businesses that serve kids, and then you'd be marketing to parents. You can go in and work with the schools. And I know that usually is one of the most obvious ones that I think a lot of martial arts and dojos, they go down that path. But to me, the easier path is if there are all these childcare centers, what if you're now able to market to that childcare center's audience and vice versa? It's a very easy reciprocal relationship where you're promoting each other. It's not costing each of you anything, and you're just promoting good services at your center and at theirs. That is to me, the fastest route to build that particular Dream 100 audience list up. Next one, I'm just going to keep rapid firing a couple of more because I want you to just start to expand your mind a bit. I want you to start thinking outside the box, and maybe some of the things are not necessarily as obvious. We'll We'll do a morbid one. So funeral homes, not a fun topic. So how the heck could there be Dream 100 relationships that you could build there? That one, to me, you look at all the obvious ones. Places that are selling flowers. Churches. So you're getting in with the different pastors and priests and the office staff and finding some ways to have some relationships there. I might look at financial planners or insurance advisors that typically cater to people that are retired or an older community. I might look at partnering with some of the communities that, I'm trying to think the right name, like retirement homes or nursing homes, and starting to build those relationships there. So there's a lot of places where you have to just think about your target audience. So if your target audience are typically going to be older people, but in this case with funeral homes, usually the kids are the ones making the arrangements. So you might have to also find some places where you can do some education. Hey, we make the funeral process less stressful. And I know usually, at least the advertising marketing that I've seen from funeral homes is very, very similar. It's there's not too much that you can do to be overly different or creative unless you're doing like celebrations of lives and kind of changing things up quite a bit. But that one definitely has some different avenues that you can go down. Let's say you are in the pest. So like I have a company that comes a couple of times a year and sprays for bugs and mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are actually a different company. I think it's Mosquito Joe. So let's look at that industry. So you have a good reoccurring model, but I'm not a Dream 100 client to this pest place. I'm, a couple $1,000s a year on the high side. So either A, you need to find places that are going to refer you lots and lots of more people like me, or B, if you went down the path of Dream 100 relationships, to me, those would be going after, the commercial spaces, the businesses that have 10,000 or 100,000 square feet warehouses, going after restaurants, people that they're not going to be investing $2,000 a year. Maybe they're investing $50,000, $100,000 a year, going after places that they don't want people to know that they have a pest service, like hotels. I know there's like pest companies that come through literally in the dark of night because I've seen it. They don't want people knowing that they are getting sprayed for bugs or pests because then it just spirals out of control and people say, oh my gosh, they have bed bugs and things like that. But that's the types of Dream 100 relationships I would go after there. If I were looking for referral partners, look for other services that are complementary. Other people that are in the home services space that may have a reoccurring model. What if you were in with landscapers? They have a reoccurring model. What if you're able to refer business to landscapers and vice versa? People that are doing hardscapes, people that are doing the yearly or twice yearly cleanups. So similar to landscapers, but there's also often crews that just do that. What if you partnered with a company like Mosquito Joe because you are not in the business of mosquitoes, but you do all these other things? And Mosquito Joe only does this, but they aren't going to put out traps for rats or voles or something like that. So you start to build those types of companies that they don't have a competing product or service, but they have something that is complementary. And then you can dig deeper. Look at all the other people that would be going to your target customer's home. So if I'm your target customer, I, again, would have a landscaper, people doing the spring and fall cleanup. I might have a company that's doing snow plowing if you live in an area like that. If you're in a warmer climate, what about partnering with people that do pool service, where they're coming in every single week and helping maintain your pool? Just think about the possibilities. If all of a sudden you're in with all these pool companies and they're referring your business, here's the person that we think could do a great job at your home. It's at least worth the conversation. And then vice versa, you start to refer them. I know you have a pool. Here's a company that I would suggest looking at if you need any help. It just makes sense. You're getting that synergistic marketing. You're able to join forces and just do some good together. Let me pick one more. Let me see one that might be a little bit tougher. Not that these are easy ones. All right, let's do dog walker or even better. Now let's do dog walker. So you have a business that is either dog sitting or dog walking. Now, similarly, if I'm going after Dream 100 clients, customers, I'm probably going to be lasering in on people that have multiple dogs, or I'm going to be lasering in on people that They travel a lot, so maybe I'm watching the dog and I'm getting $50 a night multiple times a year. So you can start to very quickly see who your better customers are. If you were looking for referral relationships, that one to me is just, I wouldn't say obvious, but it's a pretty easy one. I'm going to look at establishing relationships with all the different veterinarians in the area. I'm going to look at finding all of the dog parks and pet parks that are in the area and seeing who runs those. I'm going to be looking at all of the pet stores and really focusing on the pet stores that are not big chains. Like a PetSmart doesn't mean that PetSmart can't do business with local people, but there's a lot more areas of management or things you're going to have to most likely go through, whereas finding local pet stores, there could be some fun ways to do some stuff there. Look at all the pet charities that are in the area. So all the different businesses that have like no-kill shelters, the SPCA. Look at people that are making products at craft shows that are local for dogs. There are people that make collars and natural dog food and natural dog treats. That list can start to expand very, very quickly. And when you have these lists, it starts to become clear, and then you're able to go in that direction. Hey, I didn't think about X. The veterinarian one to me is the most obvious, but did you think about going after crafters that sell dog leashes? They have a list of people that literally have bought their leashes. Most likely their email addresses and phone numbers and all that other data that they could easily start to promote you. So I wanted to do this episode today just to get your creative mind flowing, that if you get stuck and are like, I don't think there's a market. I can't think of people that would refer business to me. It's my hope that giving you some completely random examples starts to expand your mind a bit so that you can get out there and build that Dream 100 audience. One relationship can completely change the trajectory of your life and business. Get out there, take action, get in momentum. Michael Tasner signing off. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I'll see you next week.